In this video, we are going to learn the experiment which is SSB generation and detection. Basically, we want to design an SSB modem. It is modulator and demodulator. The aim of the experiment is generation of SSB SC signal. This is single sideband suppressed carrier and we want to detect the same signal. So for the generation of SSB signal, we are going to use phase shift method, and the message signal in our experiment is a sinusoidal signal. Second objective of the experiment is to detect the SSB signal once it generated by using phase shift method. We are going to detect the SSB signal by using coherent detection. The instruments used, first one is SSB kit that we have in our laboratory, and digital storage oscilloscope to see the various waveforms. What is SSB signal? So what do we mean by SSB signal? SSB signal, it is a type of amplitude modulation. It is a type of amplitude modulation in which we transmit either lower sideband or upper sideband, but not both. So what is the basic idea behind this one and how it is going to be generated? So let us see how it can be done. So let's suppose our message signal has the spectrum of this kind. So this is our frequency versus this is the message signal magnitude spectrum, in which the message signal has the spectrum like this. It is highest frequency, it is FM, and this is minus FM. So this is basically my message signal, and this is the Fourier transform of this message signal, because you want to see the frequency behavior of this technique. So first of all, this M of F is the Fourier transform of M of T, and from this we want to find out the bandwidth of message signal. So the bandwidth of my message signal, it is from 0 to FM, because we consider positive frequency only in the bandwidth calculation. So my message highest frequency is FM, so this is FM minus 0, so it's going to be FM. So the bandwidth of my message signal is FM. Please note that this is in general my message signal. As a special case, we take M of T as a sinusoid signal. In that case, the spectrum is not going to be like this. We will see that later what is the spectrum of in that case. So M of T is in general, this is message signal which is non-sinusoid, so it can have the spectrum like this, whose highest frequency is FM, so bandwidth is FM. If you see the second diagram here, it is basically the plot of DSB-SC signal spectrum, and if I can write is as DSB-SC signal as DSB-SC signal, its spectrum is given by this plot. It is the Fourier transform of your DSB-SC signal. So what is the DSB signal is basically, as you have already learned it in the previous experiment. So this is basically m of t cos of omega ct, where this is the multiplication of message signal and the carrier signal. So basically this is the my DSB-SC signal whose spectrum we can plot it like this one. To find DSB-SC in frequency domain, we just have to take the Fourier transform of this signal, and we know from the modulation property of Fourier transform, if m of t has the Fourier transform of m of f, then m of t into cos omega ct will have the Fourier transform m f minus fc plus m f plus fc divided by 2. So if you see this first part, this is m f minus fc. So as I know, this is my m of f, so m of f minus fc will be the spectrum shifted at fc. Before it is at 0, it was 0 at 0, now it is shifted to fc. So fm will be shifted to fc plus fm, and minus fm will be shifted to fc minus fm. So this is the m of f minus fc and divided by 2. Amplitude I am not writing here because we don't want so this is basically the amplitude will be half of this value, and all other values also gets half in this spectrum, because this is m of f minus fc by 2. If you see this component mf plus fc, so it is basically the left shifted signal of this, which is going to shifted at minus fc. So 0 will shifted to minus fc, and this fm will shifted to minus fc plus fm, and minus fm shifted to where? Minus fc minus fm, and amplitude is going to be half as in the previous in this spectrum. So this is m of f plus fc by 2. So this value is m of f plus fc by 2, and this is m of f minus fc by 2 band. So if you see the lower side band, this portion is the lower side band, and this is in negative frequency, it is lower side band. In real practices, we don't observe, we don't see negative frequency. They don't have physical significance. We only see the positive frequency. So we only going to get this positive frequency. Whenever you see on DSO the spectrum FFT, you can see only the positive side of the frequency, not the negative side of the frequency. Okay, so this is the lower sideband. If you want to see the upper sideband, so we know that one after FC, this portion is going to be upper sideband. This portion in the negative frequency is going to be upper sideband. So this is basically my what? Upper sideband in positive side, and this is upper sideband in negative side. If you see here, this is lower sideband in positive side, and this is lower sideband in negative side. So as I said, SSB is the just we want to transmit LSB or USB, but not both. So if you separate this spectrum into its LSB component and USB component, so this will look like like this one. So this is basically we have separated the lower sideband from this DSB-SC. So this is the lower sideband we have extracted from this DSB-SC sideband. So this is basically my single sideband signal. More specifically, since I don't have a carrier, discrete component of the carrier, so it is SSB-SC signal, because carrier is not present separately in this signal, because in DSB-SC there is no component in the no component at the carrier frequency. So this is DSB-SC, so it is going to be SSB-SC, and this is in SSB-SC, this is what? LSB-SC. So this is my LSB-SC spectrum. If you want to write the frequency, this is FC, this is FC minus FM, this is minus FC, this is minus FC plus FM. On the other hand, if you want to transmit USB only, then we have to separate the USB from this spectrum. So after extracting this USB, we can have this spectrum. So this is basically USB, because we have taken out this USB from this DSB-SC. So this is the signal which is USB-SC in frequency domain. So either we are going to transmit this through the transmitter or this through the transmitter, but not both. So because at the receiving end, when we receive this signal, since upper sideband is, if you see here, upper sideband, if you know your upper sideband, then you can produce your LSB, and if you know your LSB, then you can produce your USB. So at the receiving end, we can generate LSB from USB or USB from LSB, and we can recover your massive signal back. So by removing one sideband, we actually don't lose any information. So this is the basic idea behind the transmission of SSB. So what will be the mathematical equation of this SSB? So I have done the derivation for if message signal is sinusoid signal. If the message signal is sinusoid signal. If message is not sinusoid signal, then we need different tools to do the mathematical analysis of this SSB. So let's say my DSB-FC signal is AC plus M of t cos omega ct, where AC is the peak amplitude of the carrier, this is my message signal, and this is my carrier signal which is present at frequency fc. Now since M of t is sinusoid, so I can replace M of t here by this AM cos omega m t. So you can see here this is the FM. Now if you expand this by putting this value here, we can see it has basically two components. One is the carrier term, this is discrete component of the carrier, which is going to be an impulse in the spectrum of DSB-FC, and we know that one, this is missing in the DSB-SC. Impulse is not present in DSB-SC signal. If it is DSB-F signal, then there will be an impulse at this FC, and similarly at minus FC in the negative side of the frequency. So this is the carrier term, and this is basically my DSB-SC signal. This is my DSB-SC signal. Now this is the carrier plus DSB-SC, which is nothing but DSB-FC. So if you use the trigonometric identity, so we can rewrite this term. This can be separated into two parts. One is AM cos omega c minus omega m into t, and second one is what? AM by 2 cos omega c plus omega m of t. This is just cos A minus B and cos A plus B, and half is because of this trigonometric identity. And this is again the carrier term. So if you see, this is my lower sideband and this is my upper sideband, since it is present at Fc plus Fm, and this is present at Fc minus Fm. So this is LSB, which is present at Fc minus Fm, and this is the USB, which is present at Fc plus Fm, and one carrier term which is going to be present at Fc, which is impulse in the frequency domain. So if you see the LSB equation, this is going to be this term. So this is my LSB. If you see USB, so this is my USB. So for sinusoidal message signal, LSB signal can be written as AM by 2 cos omega c minus omega m t. This is just the amplitude factor. This is just the amplitude factor, but what is important is the frequency, Fc minus Fm. Now what we have derived the equation of SSB signal, either LSB or USB, we want to generate it by using different methods. So how to generate this LSB and USB? So there are three methods to generate SSB signal. One is phase shift method, second is filter method, and third method, we also call it Weber method. We also call it Weber method. So in this experiment we are going to use phase shift method to generate our SSB signal. It is SSB SC signal. Carrier is not present. So we are going to generate SSB SC signal. To generate SSB FC signal, we just have to add carrier term in this SSB SC to get SSB FC. So this is the block diagram of phase shift method. So if you see this one, there are two multipliers we have used, so we can call it multiplier. This is multiplier 2 and this is my multiplier 1. If you see the equation of DSB-SC, this is nothing but m of t cos omega ct. So if you want to generate this m of t cos omega ct, what you are going to do, you take m of t, which is your message signal, you take a multiplier, and the second input to this multiplier is going to be your carrier signal, which is cos omega ct, and the multiplier output will be m of t cos omega ct. So this multiplier one we can also call it DSB SC output. So this output is DSB SC output. This is DSB SC output 1, and similarly we can write it as what? This value, this output is nothing but DSB SC output 2, since this is nothing but the message signal and the carrier multiplication. So this is basically DSB SC modulated. So this multiplier is nothing but DSB SC modulator that we have performed in the experiment to generate DSB SC signal, where we have used product modulator. IC number is 1496. So in the first three experiment, to do the modulation, that is the three experiments are AM generation, DSB-SC generation and detection, and diode detector. The modulator is made up of IC 1496. This we also call balanced modulator. This IC we also call as balanced modulator. These are different names, but they do the same function. They take two signals and they multiply the signals. When input is m of t and carrier is cos omega ct, then it is going to be DSB-SC modulator. Basically this is a multiplier. Now we have two other blocks. One is two other blocks which are minus 90 degree phase shifter. If you see, this is a minus 90 degree phase shifter. So whatever the signal we are going to give it to this phase shifter, it is going to add minus 90 degree to the signal which is going to apply to this to the input of this phase shifter. It is not going to change the amplitude of the signal, not going to change the gain of the signal, but it will shift the signal phase by minus 90 degree. Same here also we have this minus 90 degree phase shifter. So here we are going to apply carrier signal which is cos omega c t. This is my carrier signal. So if you see the carrier signal, this is cos omega c t, and the message signal is m of t, which is sinusoid case. This is equal to what? Cos of omega m t. You can take amplitude as am. So this is my message signal. So let's point out the see the output at each points of this block diagram one by one. So let's call this point number 1. Let's call this point number 1 dash. Let's call this point number 2, and let's say this is 2 dash, and this is point number 3. So point number 1 is just am cos omega mt, which is going to be multiplied with cos omega ct, and when you multiply this, the output is going to be m of t cos omega ct, and m of t is nothing but am cos omega mt. So it is am cos omega mt into cos omega ct. Again, you can break this cos omega mt, cos omega ct by using cos a cos b formula. So this is basically am by 2 cos omega c minus omega m t plus cos of omega c plus omega m t. So this is the output at point number 2. If you see the point number 2 dash, the output is going to be, let us see what is the input to this multiplier. The first input is am cos omega mt shifted by minus 90 degree. So if you take since this is of cos, so if you take cos theta minus 90, you get what? Sine of theta. Similarly here cos omega ct, so it's going to be sine omega ct. Here it is cos omega mt, it's going to be sine omega mt. So here point number 1 dash, the output is am sine of omega m t. Here the output is sine of omega c t. Please note, on the kit it is written plus 90 degree phase shifter, but this is basically minus 90 degree phase shifter. I will tell you what is this minus 90 degree phase shifter after a while, but let us see this is, let us suppose this is minus 90 degree phase shifter. So this is sin omega ct, one input to this multiplier, and one input, second input is am sin omega mt. So the DSB-SC output is going to be shifted version of this m of t. So let's call this shifted version mht. So this is going to be am sine of omega mt, and this is sine of omega ct. So again, by using sin A sin B formula, we can write it as am by 2 cos of omega c minus omega m t minus cos of omega c plus omega m t. This is adder block which is going to add this two signal, that is point number 2 and point number 2 dash. So the output is going to be, if you add this two, this is plus, the upper side one is plus, and this is negative, so this is going to be cancelled and this is going to be added. So the output, final output is going to be am cos of omega c minus omega m t. And if you see this equation, this is nothing but our LSB equation which we have derived in the previous slide. What is that? That is am by 2 cos omega c minus omega mt. This is am cos omega c minus omega t. If you see this amplitude factor, this is not in, it is not included by 2, but it is not necessary because it is going to be a cosine wave of amplitude am, and this is a cosine wave of amplitude am by 2, but the shape remains the same, frequency remains the same, so all other things remains the same, but shape is but amplitude just scaled by half here. So, or you can use a gain amplifier which is going to provide a gain of half, so that becomes am by 2, so it is not a problem. So basically this is LSB equation. If you see this, this is, if you want to generate USB from this diagram, from this block diagram, then we need what? We need a subtractor instead of adder. So basically this is adder to generate LSB. Similarly, to generate USB, you need a subtractor. So if you see the same block diagram, but the same block diagrams here, but we use subtractor instead of adder. So this is basically subtractor instead of adder to generate what? USB signal. So by doing the same calculation, I can write this as am cos, now the frequency is omega c plus omega m t, which is nothing but my USB expression. So this is how we can generate SSB signals. This is point number 1, this is point number 1 dash, all others are same. This is cos omega c t, this is just the multiplier, and this is the point number 2. I can write this is the point number 2 dash, this is point number 3. So by using this two, we can generate our LSB and USB. Let us try to plot all of this equation on the graph paper, So let's take this what is this basically is, if you see this point number 1, this is point number 1. So here what is the point number 1? This is my point number 1, where it is am cos omega m t. So this is just the cos omega m t. This is the sine wave, my message signal. We have drawn it's like a sine, but it's not a problem. We can shift this reference line here, it becomes cos then. But while drawing, I have drawn it like a sine wave. It's not a problem there. And if you see this 1 dash, it is the minus 90 degree phase shifted version of this. So this is 1 dash, which is minus, if this is my message signal, so this is what m of t shifted by minus 90 degree. What is this point? Let's call it point number A, and this, let's call it this point number A dash. So this is basically point number A, and this is point number A dash. So this is carrier wave whose frequency is higher. Its frequency is, this carrier frequency is higher, here frequency is smaller as compared to this frequency. If you see these two diagrams, amplitude remains the same, but it is one of this is shifted version of this signal, which is minus 90 degree phase shifted version of this signal. So this is the frequency which is fc. Here it is the minus 90 degree phase shifted version of this signal, whose frequency is also fc. So this is my message. This is my message shifted by minus 90 degree. This is my carrier, and this is my carrier shifted by minus 90 degree. So if you see the point number 2, which is nothing but, which takes the input message and the carrier without shifted version. So if you plot the DSB-SC, this is point number 2. So this is basically DSB-SC with respect to this point number 1. So let me write it with respect to point number 1. So this is starting from 0. So this is also starting from 0, and this is basically the carriers which are there. If you see the point number 2 dash, it is taking the input message signal shifted by minus 90 and carrier signal shifted by minus 90. So this is output of this DSB-SC 2. It is nothing but multiplication of this and this signal. So since it is starting from this negative value, so it has to be like this. So if you compare this DSB-SC 1 and DSB-SC 2, they are 90 degree. There is a 90 degree phase difference between these two DSB-SC 1 and DSB-SC 2. Student draw it same, but they are not same. When you see it, when you see this both on DSO, you can see there is a 90 degree phase shifted, a 90 degree phase shift between these two waveforms. So this is the point number 2 dash. If you see the third SSB signal, this is the point number 3. This is point number 3. So it is going to be LSB if you are using adder. It is going to be USB if you are going to use subtractor. So depending on adder or subtractor, you are going to get LSB or USB. So it may be LSB. If it is LSB, it is going to be FC minus FM. If it is USB, it is going to be FC plus FM. So this is the basic waveforms that we have to observe on the DSO. Now let us try to see each of this on the in the frequency domain. So if you see, the first one is my message signal. So this is point number 1. Its message signal is sine wave. So I'm going to get impulses in the frequency because this is sine wave. So this is my spectrum of massive signal. So if you see the massive signal spectrum, it is going to be located at FM and minus FM. This is 0. On DSO, you see only positive frequency. So you see only one impulse on DSO at frequency FM. Again, what should be the amplitude? It will depend on the what is M of T. But basic shape of this is going to be impulse at FM on DSO. So if you see point number 1 dash, this is also the massive signal which is present at frequency FM. So the magnitude spectrum remains the same. These two signals will differ in phase spectrum, but their magnitude spectrum both are same. So let me write it mod of M of F, so it will be clearer, because on DSO we see only the magnitude spectrum. So this spectrum is basically for what? Point number 1 and 1 dash, that is massive signal, and massive signal shifted by minus 90 degree. Amplitude both have the same, because amplitude does not change when you shift it by minus 90 degree. Now if you see the carrier signal, so if you see the carrier signal, again the same situation. So if you see the carrier signal, the impulses which will be at Fc and minus Fc. On DSO we will see only one impulse at Fc. This is my 0. Since Fc is greater than Fm, so I have drawn it for greater than this 0 value as compared to this Fm impulse. So this is my carrier signal. This is my carrier signal. So let's call it C of F. If you see this carrier signal, again this is a sinusoid, and the shifted minus 90 degree phase shifted signal is this one, whose amplitude is also same as this one. So the magnitude spectrum remains the same. These two signals will differ in the phase spectrum. If you see the DSB-SC, first one, DSB-SC output 1, first multiplier output, this is the point number 2. Similarly, I can write it as or 2 dash. So this is the spectrum for both, because we see only the magnitude spectrum. So these two DSB-SCs are same, except they differ in phase. So basically this is DSB spectrum, which is shifted version of this message, and it is shifted to where? Fc. So this two impulses get shifted to this Fc. So this becomes Fc plus Fm. This is Fc minus Fm. This is minus Fc plus Fm. This is minus Fc minus Fm. So basically this is my lower sideband. These two are my lower sideband. And if you see, this is upper sideband. So this is upper sideband. If you see the point number 3, this is also a sine wave of constant amplitude. So again this is a sine wave, so we are going to get impulses. It can be LSB frequency or it can be USB frequency, depending on the adder or subtractor in the block diagram. So if this is adder, if you use adder block, then point number 3 output will look like this, which is the impulses at Fc minus Fm. This is going to be Fc minus Fc plus Fm. And if you use subtractor, then point number 3 output is going to be USB Fc plus Fm. This is minus Fc minus Fm. So this is my USB spectrum. This is my LSB spectrum. So now you can see here, we have seen the waveforms at various points on the blocks of our kit and their frequency behavior, the frequency spectrum also we have seen, which we want to verify it on the kit. So let us try to look at the SSB detection. So the detection we are going to use here is coherent detection. So this have two blocks. This has two blocks. One is multiplier and one is low pass filter whose cutoff frequency is plus minus FM. Input to this detector is your SSB signal. It may be LSB or USB depending on the signal you have transmitted. So let's consider here USB signal. So let me take the output. What is the block diagram of generates SSB? So let's say take a LSB signal. So this is AM cos of omega C minus omega MT. So this is basically the input to this detector, and the second input which is going to be the carrier signal whose frequency is omega CT. So this is the carrier which we are generating at the receiver side, and here it is the carrier which we are generating at the transmitter side. So in general, the transmitter and receiver, they are not on the same location. What I mean by that one, if transmitter is in Pune, then receiver is going to be somewhere else. It may be in Mumbai. So the carrier signal which I am going to generate cos omega CT and the carrier signal which I am generating in the transmitting side, they are not from the same signal generator. So we should have the synchronization of the frequency and phase in the carriers at the transmitting side and at the receiving side. What do I mean by that? As I am going to generate signal, that is a oscillator. So this is just RF oscillator which is going to generate me the carrier signal. So this block is going to generate the carrier signal of frequency omega CT at the transmitter. So at the receiver, it might be possibility that, and it's actually the cos omega CT plus theta, because these two signal generators are not the same signal generator. So this is going to generate a sine wave, this is going to generate a sine wave, but they may not be in the same phase. So if they are not in the same phase, then this detection is not possible. So that's why the carrier signal which we are going to generate here, it should be in the same phase as the carrier which was being generated at the transmitter side. So there are some techniques by which we do the phase synchronization, but we are not going to discuss those techniques. So on the kit, as we see that one, modulator and demodulator block both are on the same kit, and the carrier signal which is going to be fed into the transmitter, it is also going to be fed into the receiver. So there is no point of phase difference between these two in our kit. These two carrier signal which are at the transmitter and receiver, both are getting generated from the same generator, so they are in the same phase. So this is basically the fundamental of coherent detection, that the carrier at the receiver and carrier at the transmitter, they should have the same phase, same frequency. Then we are going to call it coherent detection technique. So this is AM cos omega C minus omega MT, and second input is the carrier signal and the low pass filter output. If you see the output at this point, what is this output? Is going to be AM multiplication of am cos omega c minus omega m t into cos omega ct. Again we have to use this trigonometric identity, so this is going to be am by 2. One is a minus b, one is a plus b. So if you see a minus b, it is going to be difference will produce cos omega mt, and the summation will produce 2 omega c plus omega m t. Now if you see this signal, this is my message signal, and this is a signal which I don't want at the output. So if you plot the spectrum of this signal, this is going to be the original spectrum, which is at fm and minus fm. If you see this term, this is going to be 2 omega c plus omega m. So if it is 2 omega c, so this is going to be 2 omega c plus 2 fc plus fm, and on the negative side it is minus 2 fc minus fm. So by using a low pass filter, whose cutoff frequency is fm, so I can pass this component only, and we can stop this signal. So at the output of this low pass filter we get only this. So this is basically fm and minus fm, and this is nothing but our message signal in time domain. So this is basically m of t. This is basically our am by 2 cos of omega m t. What the input I have given, this is my message recovered signal. So if you see this message signal, this is am cos omega mt, and here it is am by 2. So it is just matter of fact that amplitude get scaled by 2, but the shape remains the same. That is important. And if you want to remove this half, then you have to use a amplifier whose gain is 2. So we can remove this half value in this signal. So this is the recovery portion of SSB detection. So as I said, what is minus 90 degree phase shifter? So let us try to look at that. What is minus 90 degree phase shifter? So minus 90 degree phase shifter, if you apply any signal to this, it is going to shift it by minus 90 degree. Suppose you are going to apply it cos of omega naught t, it becomes cos omega naught t minus 90. So then it becomes what? Sine of omega naught t. Instead of applying cos omega naught t, you can apply sine omega naught t. So if you apply sine omega naught t, then it becomes sine of omega naught t minus 90 degree, which is going to be minus of cos omega naught t. So you can see this one. If you shift sine omega naught t by minus 90 degree, you get minus cos. If you shift cos, then you get plus sine. So this is important. Is it minus 90 or plus 90? But it is given plus 90 on the kit, which is wrong. Now if you see this minus 90 degree in the frequency domain, how can I write this one? Let's say this is a filter whose response is h of f. So this h of f can be written as what? Since it is providing gain 1, it is not changing the amplitude. So this is providing 1, and I can write what? E power minus j pi by 2 when f is greater than 0, and it is 1 e power j pi by 2 when f is less than 0. So here you can see this. If you multiply any signal, any signal with this, if you apply any signal to this filter, it is going to shift the phase of that signal by minus pi by 2 for positive frequency, and for negative frequency it is going to shift the signal by plus pi by 2. But in general, in the real practice, we don't get negative frequency, so that's why the conventionally we should write it is minus 90 degree phase shifting. So if you see cos omega naught t, this is plus. You can see it like this. If cos omega naught t, you can break it like what? Cos omega naught t, where I can write it what? E power j omega naught t plus e power minus j omega naught t divided by 2. So this is my real signal. If you see, this is the summation of two signals which are two complex signals. So if you see this, you know this is the positive frequency, this is positive frequency, and this is negative frequency. This is minus omega naught and this is what? Plus omega naught. So let us try to see what is going to be there at the output of this filter when you apply this signal. So equivalently we are applying this signal to this filter. So this is going to be multiplied with this h of f. So as f greater than 0, it is going to do what? Minus pi by 2. So this is positive frequency. This is going to be j omega naught t, and you have e power minus j pi by 2. This is frequency greater than 0 component. This is frequency less than 0 component. It is going to be j omega naught t e power j pi by 2 by 2. This is f less than 0. You can see we have added phase of minus pi by 2. Since this is positive frequency, we have added phase of minus 90 degree, plus 90 degree, because this frequency is less than 0. E power j, this is omega naught t minus pi by 2 plus e power, let's take out minus j omega naught t minus pi by 2 divided by 2. So this is basically what? This is theta 1, this is theta, so this is also theta, e power minus j theta plus e power minus j theta, e power plus j theta, and this is e power minus j theta by 2. So this is again, this is cos omega naught t minus pi by 2 t. So this is basically what? Sine of omega naught t. So you can see here the plus pi by 2 shifting to negative frequency, plus pi by 2 shifting to negative frequency, and for positive frequency it shifted by minus pi by 2. So this is basically the minus 90 degree phase shifter. We also call it Hilbert transform, and the filter whose gain is unity, it's a gain. If you see, the magnitude spectrum is unity and the phase spectrum is what? It provides plus pi by 2 for positive frequency, for negative frequency, and for positive frequency it adds minus pi by 2. So this is basically the angle of this. So this kind of filter, we also call it all pass filter, whose gain is unity but the phase is different. So it just change the phase of the signal. This is basically about the Hilbert transform. Now if you see the kit of SSB modem, so you can see this block diagram on the kit also. So this is my message signal which I am going to generate. This is my message signal. Amplitude I can change. I can change the amplitude. and I can change the amplitude and the frequency of this message signal. Then I have a phase shift network and I have a control knob. By using that we can change it to, we can make it minus 90 degree phase shifted version of that. So this is written FM plus 90, which is wrong, which is FM minus 90. So this is my basically M of t shifted by, which is M of t shifted by minus 90 degree, which is nothing but MHT in our notation. This is the carrier signal we are going to generate from here. Here you can change the amplitude of the carrier. Frequency is fixed for the kit. And again this is minus 90 degree phase shifter, this block. So this is FC minus 90, all where this plus is minus actually. So this how we can have. Now original signal M of t, we can apply this to this, and original carrier without changing the its phase, we can give it to first DSBSC modulator, and to the second DSBSC modulator we apply minus 90 degree phase shifted version of signal and minus 90 degree phase shifted of the carrier signal. So this is my DSBSC 2 and this is my DSBSC 1. We can add them. If you add them, you get what? LSB signal. So message signal without shifted, carrier signal without shifted to one modulator, minus 90 degree shifted message signal, minus 90 degree shifted carrier signal to another DSBSC modulator. You get two DSBSC signal. When you add this two, you get LSB. When you apply this LSB to this USB and the carrier to this second input of SSB demodulator, you can recover back your signal. So this is my recovered message signal. Now the point is here, the point here is this, in this kit we have adder, we don't have subtractor. So is that mean that we can generate only LSB from this kit? Can we not generate the USB? So but through this kit we can also generate USB. How to see that? Let us try to observe this block diagram. This block diagram is this one. So again come back to this block diagram. What is that? This is my message M of t, this is AM cos omega m t, this is my multiplier. Now instead of applying carrier to this DSB-SC1, previously what we have done, that for DSB-SC1 we are applying this cos omega ct carrier directly, but we have interchanged this carrier connections, that in DSB-SC1 we are giving carrier with shifted version, and DSB-SC2 we are giving carrier itself. So if you see this, this is my cos omega ct and this becomes what? Sin omega ct. If you multiply this two signal, that is sin omega ct and AM cos omega mt, what we can get is AM cos omega mt into sin omega ct. So this is sin A cos B formula. So it becomes what? Sin of omega c plus omega m t, and second is what? AM by 2 sin of omega c minus omega m t. This is sin A, sin B. If you see here, this is minus 90 degrees, so this is going to be AM sin of omega mt and this is cos, so this is going to be again same thing, am sine of, this is omega c plus omega m t, this is by 2, and this is am by 2 sine of a minus b, omega m minus omega c t. So this is basically what, if you, because we know that omega c is greater than omega m, so we can rewrite this term as am by 2 sine of omega c plus omega m t, and just interchanging these two we can get minus sign outside of this is going to be sine omega c minus omega m t. So if you see this two equation, when you add this two, here you can see this is my lower sideband which is positive here, and here it is lower sideband which is minus here. If you add this 2, this is going to be cancelled, and the output we can get is am sine of omega c plus omega m t, and this is nothing but the USB signal. This signal is just the minus 90 degree phase shifted version of the actual USB signal. You see the actual USB signal is what? Am cos omega c plus omega m t. So, and here it is am sine omega c plus omega m t. So basically this is what the USB signal, which is cos of omega c plus omega m minus 90 degree t. So if you have this signal like this, so this signal is this one, so in that case this signal sine is going to be, this is the signal USB signal, you get this signal here, but frequency is here fc plus fn, here is also frequency is fc plus fn. So this is sine and this is cos. So basically these two are same in nature, so we can say that one we can generate USB by changing the carrier to the DSB-SC modulator. So instead of giving carrier signal to DSB-SC1, we are going to give this carrier signal to here. So let me draw it by blue pen. So we are going to give it to this point, and this carrier we can give it to this point. So we have interchanged this carrier connections. So in one DSB-SC modulator we are giving massive signal and shifted carrier signal, and in one modulator we are going to give shifted massive signal and without shifted carrier signal. So please check the notation on the kit, it might be wrong there. So this is basically the fundamental of this USB. Through this we can generate USB. So how to generate LSB? Again rewrite this one. In one DSB-SC, message and carrier, and second shifted carrier and shifted message. This is going to generate LSB. This is going to generate LSB. If you interchange this CT and shifted carrier connections, you will get USB. Now let us see the SSB modem experimentally. So this is the kit which we have in the laboratory for SSB modem. This uses the phase shift method to generate SSB SC signal. So here you can see the modulating signal generator. So this block is modulating signal generator. It is going to generate the message signal, the frequency and amplitude you can change of this message signal. Then we have a phase shift network. Through this phase shift network we are going to provide minus 90 degree phase shift to this message signal. So this is basically phase shift network. Second generator is the carrier signal generator. From this we can generate the carrier signal. The amplitude of the carrier signal we can vary, but the carrier frequency of this kit is fixed. We cannot change that one. It is approximately 1 megahertz, nearly 1 megahertz. Then this carrier frequency, this carrier signal is going to be shifted by minus 90 degree. So this is a phase shift network for this carrier signal. So here we will have carrier shifted by minus 90 degree. This is my DSP-SC1 block where we are going to generate DSP-SC signal. This is my second DSP-SC signal generator block, and this is the adder which will take this two DSP-SC signal and going to add these two signals. At the output of this adder we are going to get SSB signal. So let us adjust our first message signal. So let us see the message signal, and this is my message signal in channel number 1, and this is my shifted message signal on channel number 2. So the amplitude we can set it to approximately 1 volt, nearly 1 volt. Let's measure it. This is approximately 840. It will okay with us. Now let us change the frequency of the message. It is up to 3 kilohertz. Let's make it let's take it 4 kilohertz. So the message signal frequency which we are taking is 4 kilohertz, and the amplitude is 860 millivolt peak to peak. Now we have to shift the message signal by 90 degree. So if you see this one, this is not minus 90 degree phase shifted. To make it minus 90 degree phase shifted. So if you see this, this is my original message signal. This is shifted by minus 90 degree. If you see this, this signal is right shifted version of this signal, and this is basically minus 90 degree. You can see it on display as well, where you can change it to XY, and here you can see this is a circle which shows that it is these two signals are 90 degree phase shifted of each other. So now I have set my message signal and its shifted version, that is minus 90 degree phase shifted version. Now let's set our carrier signal. So the channel 1, so this is my carrier signal. If you see this, if you want to increase this amplitude, the signal is no more a sine wave, so we want to make it sine wave, so we have to keep the amplitude such that it will likely to be a sine wave, because since this is the generator which is generating a signal of 1 megahertz, so that's why the signal is somewhat distorted. So this is my carrier signal, and you see this is the 90-degree phase shifted version of this signal, is minus 90-degree phase shifted version of this original signal. So now we have set over that message signal, minus 90-degree shifted of message signal, carrier signal, minus 90-degree shifted of carrier signal. So let me write the values of this signal so that we can keep it there. So if you see the carrier signal, its amplitude is nearly 299, this is nearly 300 millivolt. This is 300 millivolt peak to peak. Its frequency is nearly 1.027 megahertz. The message frequency is what we have taken is nearly 4 kilohertz. So message frequency what we have taken is 4 kilohertz, and amplitude we have taken is 800 millivolt peak to peak. So we can see this here also. This is signal, carrier signal, minus 90-degree shifted carrier signal. If you take this message, this is message signal, and this is the minus 90-degree phase shifted message signal. Now if you see the DSB-SC1, we want to generate first LSB. So for DSB-SC1 we are going to give the original message signal and original carrier signal. So I've just connected carrier signal and I've connected this message signal. These are the original carrier signal and message signal. Let us check the output of DSB-SC1 with respect to my original message signal. So this is the DSB-SC output. So if you see, this is the DSB-SC signal. Now if this amplitude is message amplitude is bigger, so you can see this some spurious component on that, so we can reduce the amplitude of the message signal. So now this is okay. With this knob we can change the sizes of lobes, but we know that the size of lobes must be same for this message signal, because this is DSB-SC signal of this for this message signal. So this is DSB-SC1 for message signal with respect to message signal. Now let us, this is message signal, you can see here, this is DSB-SC, here it is DSB-SC with respect to message signal, this is with respect to message signal, this is DSB-SC signal. So you can see here also. Now let us take the minus 90 phase shifted version of message signal to the second DSB-SC and minus 90 degree phase shifted version of carrier signal to generate second DSB-SC signal. So if you plot this DSB-SC2, we want to see it with respect to our shifted version of message signal. So this is shifted version of message signal. If you see this output, This is our second DSBSC. With respect to minus 90 degree phase shifted message signal. If you look at the both of this DSBSC signal, that is DSBSC1 and DSBSC2, you can see they are minus 90 degrees shifted version of each other. So if you see this is DSBSC1 and this is DSBSC2. You can see they are not aligned in the same positions. Now let us see the spectrum of this signals. So if you see the DSBSC, I should get only positive frequency. I don't get this negative frequency, so I'm going to get only the positive portions. So I just the positive portions of this. So for first DSBSC, I'm going to get this spectrum at Fc plus Fm and Fc minus Fm. So let's press the math menu for the channel 1. If you see this, so this is my original spectrum. Let's zoom it. So you can see the spectrum here. This is the DSBSC spectrum. If you take the cursor reading, it is going to be this is the frequency. So the frequency is 1.023 megahertz, and this is basically 1.031 megahertz. So lower sideband is 1.023 megahertz and upper sideband is 1.031 megahertz. So the spectrum is what? Upper sideband is 1.031 megahertz and lower sideband is 1.023 megahertz. So let's write these values here. These are basically the frequency values. So I should write here. The amplitude, you can take the measurement also. So these two magnitudes are same. What is the reading? You see this. This is approximately minus 19 dB. So this value is nearly minus 19 dB. So if you see, the carrier frequency that we have taken is 1.027 megahertz and the message frequency 4 kilohertz. So the lower sideband is Fc minus Fm, which is going to be 1.023 megahertz, and upper sideband is 1.027 plus 4 kilohertz. It is going to be 1.031 megahertz. Here we can see the spectrum as well. Now if you see the spectrum of second DSBSC, so I am having channel 2 there. This is channel 2. So if you see that magnitude is not changed, magnitude is nearly minus 19 dB and the frequency is also same. So basically this is the magnitude spectrum. So we don't see any difference between these two DSBSC signals. They differ in the phase spectrum. So here we have both of this spectrum same. This is for DSBSC1 and for DSBSC2 we get the same spectrum. Now if we add this two DSBSC signal, we should get LSB. So if you connect this DSBSC1 to the input of adder and this DSBSC signal to the second input of the adder, so we can see this. Here you can see this is the upper sideband has suppressed. It has not completely suppressed because of the practicality, but it has suppressed as compared to the lower sideband. So if you see, this lower sideband is there, but upper sideband is missing from here. So this is basically the generation of upper sideband. This is our adder output. Now just recheck this one. This is my DSB-SC1, which is double sided. This is my DSB-SC2, which is also having double sideband but adder output, which contains only the lower sideband. Now, as I said, if you want to generate USB from the same kit, then you have to interchange the carrier and its minus 90 degree shifted version of signal. So this is my carrier which has connected to this point. So we just need to exchange this two wire. So now in DSB-SC1 we are giving shifted version of carrier, and in DSB-SC2 we are giving original signal. So now you can see this lower sideband has been suppressed and we are getting only the upper sideband. So this is the basic idea of this analysis. So now we can write the values here also. So when we use adder, so this is just original message and the carrier frequency. So this is nearly FC minus FM. This is just 1.023 megahertz, and this frequency is 1.031 megahertz, and you can write the amplitude as well. This is nearly minus 12.1 dB. You can see the reading minus 12.1 dB. So this is also minus 12.1 dB. Now if you see the demodulation part, let us see first the signal in time domain. So if you see the signal in time domain, you can see this is my since I have not connected anything to channel 1, but I have connected channel 2 to the SSB signal. So this is my SSB signal, which is showing that 1.038 question mark. So we have to measure it by cursor, or we have already measured it in frequency domain, so no need to measure this frequency. So this is showing different values of carrier because it is not stable. This output is not stable. So you can see this spectra, you can see this is this a USB or LSB in the spectrum very precisely. So but in time domain we are not able to see. This is 1.022 something. It's showing different values for different times. So we need to see the spectrum so that we can justify that it is a upper sideband or lower sideband. So when you apply this adder output to the signal and the carrier signal to this demodulator, that is basically what coherent detection that we have discussed already. So it requires two input. One is the carrier and one is what the SSB signal, which is going to be demodulated. So if you see this, the output, you can verify it with our message signal. So in channel number 1 we are giving it message signal, and in channel 2 we are giving demodulated signal. So this is This is the message signal, and this is our recovered message signal, whose frequencies are nearly 4 kilohertz and 4 kilohertz. So this is how we can demodulate the signal. So this is all about the experiment. The expected waveform to be drawn in this experiment is all these waveforms, that is all the each block output, message signal, shifted message signal, carrier signal, shifted carrier signal, DSBSC1 output, DSBSC2 output, SSB signal, and then your recovered signal. The recovered signal has to be drawn on this waveform that I have not drawn here. And related to spectrum, you can see the spectrum of message, you can see the spectrum of carrier, you can see the spectrum of DSBSC1, and we have seen that DSBSC1 spectrum and DSBSC2 spectrum both are same. Message spectrum and shifted message spectrum both are same. Carrier spectrum and shifted carrier spectrum both are same. DSBSC1 and DSBSC2 spectrum both are same. So this is the LSB and this is the USB spectrum. So this is how you can do the experiment. So this is the theoretical as well as practical verification of this SSB modem by using phase shift method, generation, and coherent detection for the demodulation purpose.